Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over my AFC East predictions for the 2021 NFL season. So I know a lot of you have probably been wondering where I am. I was working at a summer camp this summer, and I had an amazing time, but I just didn't have any time to make any videos. I got home on Saturdays for about 24 hours from Saturday to Sunday, and I was just exhausted. I think that in the last video that I made, which was over 2 months ago now, um, I think that said that I was going to try and start making one video a week starting in July, but that just didn't work out. So now I'm back. I'm planning to make 3 to 4 videos a week up until the NFL season and then continue through the NFL season. I have a lot of ideas planned. I'm going to finish this series, of course, which I'm going to be going through every division. I'm probably going to be doing 2 or 3 of these a week because I want to finish these predictions before the season starts. Most of my predictions are already in, but I'm also going to be making content about fantasy football and other things of the sort. So if you guys are interested, if you guys want to stick around, then you're more than welcome to. And I just want to thank everyone that has stayed with the channel. I know that I've been gone for 2 months, and football content has been very low since the end of the last season in February. But generally speaking, a majority of my subscribers have stayed with the channel, and hopefully you guys are going to stay for the season. So I really appreciate all the support, even when I haven't been here. So let's get right into it. So for each of these videos, obviously these predictions are tentative as like last year. So last year when I did the series, all of the videos were tentative until the very last one when I re-went over all of them. So, for example, the Falcons I have on here as losing to the Jets. I don't think that that's going to stand. I think I'm going to change that at some point. But like all of these predictions are tentative. This is just my general idea because I haven't finished all of the divisions yet. So, week 1, we have the Panthers. I think that the Panthers and the Jets could go either way. It'll be the Sam Darnold revenge game, and I think that he's going to lose. I think Sam Darnold is a strong player, potentially, but I think that he had bad luck getting drafted by the Jets, and I think that that also inhibited his ability to learn and play better football. So I think that even with the Panthers, it's not going to be an amazing situation for him. Week 2, we have the Patriots. I think that the Jets are going to lose out in the division. I don't see them beating the Patriots, the Dolphins, or the Bills. I think they could win one game out of the 6, but that's the highest I can possibly see. Last year they lost all 6. This year I think that they'll lose all 6. The Broncos. I think that the Broncos have a stronger team. The Broncos have one of the best defenses in the league, and they're trying to improve their offense. They have a interesting quarterback situation right now. They're trying to figure out who their quarterback is going to be for this year. I think that by week 3 they'll know who their quarterback is, or they'll have an idea of who their quarterback is. And I think that that'll give them the advantage that they need over the Jets. Titans, week 3. I think the Titans are the toughest team that the entire division is facing this year because they're against the AFC South. I think the Titans and the Bucks are the 2 toughest teams that the AFC East is facing because they're facing the AFC South and the NFC South. Titans, I think, are clearly the best team in the AFC South. And I don't see the Jets beating them. As for the Falcons, this is the only one that I think that I might change because I think that the Falcons do have some serious talent on their team, and they also have Matt Ryan, a very veteran quarterback, at the helm. And I think that it's a little disgraceful putting them losing to the Jets. I'm sorry, Matt Ryan. I respect you as a player, but I needed the Jets to beat someone, and that probably will be changed at some point. But the Falcons they just lose games. They have a good team that loses games, and it's really weird, but it's just how it works. After they lose to the Patriots again, they play the Bengals. I think that the reason why I have the Bengals ahead of the Jets, both of these teams were terrible 2 years ago. The Bengals got a quarterback. Jets stayed with Sam Darnold. The Bengals team has improved around their quarterback. And I think that having Joe Burrow for a full season, being 8 weeks into the year, the Bengals are going to have a major advantage over Zach Wilson, who's still the new guy on the squad. For the Colts are a very confusing team. This is the only team that is currently I have losing to the Jets that I have them beating the Colts. The only issue is that I just think that their team is too strong. I don't care who their quarterback is. I think that the Colts team is better than the Jets team, no matter who they have at quarterback. They could have Nathan Peterman at quarterback, and I think that the Colts would stand a chance of beating the Jets. After that is the Bills and the Dolphins. I think those will be two easy losses for the Jets. And then we get to the other two wins of the season. I think that they'll win consecutively the Texans and the Eagles games. And the Eagles are going to be absolutely terrible this year. They were terrible last year. They're going to be just as bad this year. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to be a whole lot better than Carson Wentz was, based off of the couple games that we saw. And as for the Texans are the worst team in the league, in my opinion. I have the Saints, them losing to the, and then I have them losing out the rest of the year. The Saints, even without Drew Brees, are still a very good team, and the Jets just aren't. The Jaguars it's Trevor Lawrence versus Zach Wilson and terrible teams. I think Trevor Lawrence wins that fight. And then you have the Dolphins, the Bucks, and the Bills. And I don't see the Jets winning any of those games. Moving on to the Dolphins, I have at 10-7. So very similar to last year where they went 10-6. I have them losing the first 2 weeks of the season to the Patriots and the Bills. I do have them splitting with the Patriots, though, losing week 1 and winning week 18. I have them losing twice to the Bills, beating the Jets twice. For week 3, they play the Raiders. I think that the Raiders got worse in the last year. I think the Dolphins got better. I think that the Raiders only went 7-9 last year because Derek Carr had a strong start to the season, an abnormally strong start to the season. If Derek Carr doesn't have the same abnormally strong start to the season, I don't see the Raiders doing anything. I think that they're going to likely go like 5-12. Moving on to the Colts. Again, I think the Colts is an easy win for the Dolphins. I almost have the Jets beating them. I think that the Colts should be an easy win. Without Carson Wentz, they do have a decent team, but I still think the Dolphins should be able to come out with a win against their offense with the Miami defense. And then the Colts defense is mediocre, but if Miami's offense can score 20 points, I think they'll beat the Colts. I have the entire division losing out to the Buccaneers. I don't have any team, including the Bills, beating the Bucs. The Bucs are the Super Bowl champions, and the Dolphins didn't make the playoffs. And the Bucs re-signed their entire roster from last year. Moving on to the Jaguars, I think that the Dolphins can beat the Jaguars. The reason why I have the Jaguars beating the Jets is because I think that their teams are equally talented. I don't think the Dolphins and Jaguars are equally talented. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a good career, but rookie quarterbacks don't usually start off good their first year. Most rookie quarterbacks lose a lot of games before they can get better. Just like Justin Herbert last year. He started off 1-6, playing a lot of really tough teams, and then he ended up winning 5 of the last 7 games of the season. So, I have them beating the Falcons once again. I think that the Falcons are going to be terrible this year. I think that their team is going to be strong, but they're just going to lose games, just like last year. It's too bad. It really is. They have a talented team, but they just can't win games. Again, I have them losing out to the Bills, and then I think the Texans will be an easy win. I don't even know if I'm gonna have. I think that I might predict the Texans to go 0-17. I might. I haven't done their division yet, but I very well could predict the Texans to go 0-17. And then the Dolphins play the Ravens, because the Ravens didn't win their division last year. I think that this is going to be a really interesting game, and I think that the Ravens are going to come out on top. Lamar's only lost in the regular season to Patrick Mahomes and a couple others last year, but most of his losses have been to Patrick Mahomes. I think half of his losses in the NFL have been to Patrick Mahomes. And so I can see the Dolphins losing this game pretty easily. The next 4 games are a cakewalk. I have the Jets. They have the Jets, and then two teams I think that the Jets could beat, which isn't really a good sign. I think the Dolphins will outscore all four of those opponents by 10 or more points. And then the last three games of the season are a little tougher. You have the Saints, the Titans, and the Patriots. I think that they will go 1-3 in those games. Whether they beat the Saints, they beat the Titans, or they beat the Patriots, I don't see them winning more than one of those three games. I think that they'll split the Patriots winning at home and losing away. Their first game is the Patriots home opener, which is an away game for the Dolphins. So I think they'll probably lose that one, and they'll probably win the home game because the Patriots never win in Miami. Moving on to the Patriots, I have us going 11-6. I have us beating the Jets twice, same as the Dolphins. I have us splitting with the Dolphins, and I have us splitting with the Bills. The reason why I have us splitting with the Bills is because I think that last year our team was talented enough to beat the Bills. We played them. It was week 9, I believe. And the reason why we lost was because Cam Newton fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. We won the game. We were about to win the game, and then Cam Newton fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. That was the deciding factor of the game, and there was 10 seconds left on the clock. So even if we'd kicked a field goal, we would have won, but it was a fumble. So big whoop. But I think that we were talented enough to have split with them last year. I think that our team has improved. So I think it's a fair assumption to say that we can split with them this year, especially in the game in Gillette. After the Dolphins and Jets, week 3 we have the Saints. I think the Saints are a very strong team, even without Drew Brees, as I mentioned before. But I think that the Patriots can come out on top. I think that our defense is strong enough to try and mess with their offense, especially with their quarterback position being so confusing. I think that if Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston is the quarterback, our defense and our secondary can get a lot of really good plays and potentially 2 or 3 interceptions. I think the turnovers is going to kill them. I might even change my prediction for the Dolphins, thinking about the secondary of Xavier Howard as well. The Buccaneers, I think, will be an easy loss for the Patriots. Moving on. Texans, again, are an easy win. A lot of this is just similar for all of these teams. For the Cowboys, I think that the Cowboys and the Saints, we will win one of those 2 games. The Cowboys game and the Saints game, in my opinion, are connected. I think we'll win one of those 2 games. The Cowboys and Saints are both wild, mystery teams this year. I think that both of them have potential to be really good or really trash. And so I really don't know what to do, so I have Patriots winning 1. Jets are another easy win. And then I have the Chargers beating the Patriots. I haven't finished my predictions yet, but I might have the Chargers winning their division. The Chargers, I think, are going to be an extremely strong team. Justin Herbert finished off last year. I think he started off 1-7. The team was 2-7, and they finished 7-9. So yeah, he won 5 of the last 7 games. I think that the Chargers could go easily 12-5. I think their floor is 11-6. I think that they could get anywhere up to 14-3. I think the Chargers should beat the Patriots. I know we beat them last year 45-0 or something, but I don't see that happening again this year. Moving on to the Panthers should be an easy win. Moving on to the Jets, the Browns. I think the Browns have a strong team. I have them second in their division. I have the Patriots beating the Browns. I think that's more of a hopeful thing than an actual prediction. And the reason why is because I really don't know who I think is stronger. I know that the top 5 teams in the AFC are, in no particular order, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Chargers, the Ravens, and Titans. The Patriots and the Browns, I think, are the 2 wild cards, or 2 of the 3 wild cards, and I'm not sure which of the 2 teams is stronger. I think the Patriots will have. I think overall the deciding factor in the Patriots-Browns game is going to ultimately be the defense. I think the Patriots' defense is stronger, and I think that's going to be enough to win. Moving on, I think the Falcons, again, not to disrespect the Falcons, I think that they're good at losing. That's just their thing. The Titans, I think, have a really strong team, and the difference between the Titans and the Browns is that both these teams have solid teams, but the Titans' offense and Derrick Henry are just too much. I don't think the Patriots' defense will be able to handle it, just like last year, just like a few years ago. I think Derrick Henry is too much for us. He just is. It's just a fact. Derrick Henry is too much for the Patriots' defense, no matter how good we are, and that's just how it is. And then the end of the season is pretty straightforward. I have a splitting with the Bills. Um, I think that's a fair thing to say, considering last year. I think we were talented enough to split with them. That one game that we lost to them in the middle of the season was because Cam Newton fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line. If we had taken a knee and kicked a field goal, we would have won. But we fumbled it at the 1 yard line, and that was the game. So yeah, I think that we were talented enough last year. I think this year we've improved our team. So I think that we should be able to split with the Bills, winning in Foxborough, obviously, and then that just leaves the Colts and the Jaguars, and I think that those should be easy wins. The Colts and the Jaguars quarterback positions are confusing this year. I think that's going to inhibit their team clicking. I think the Patriots should be firing on all cylinders by the end of the season, getting ready for the playoffs. And I think that we'll be able to win both of those games. And then the last game of the season being the Miami Dolphins. If we are 11-5 and the Dolphins are 9-7 at going into the last game of the season, I think that we'll have our playoff spot, and Belichick will likely just sit players, likely. And I think that we don't win in Miami anyways. Even if we didn't sit players, we'd probably still lose. But I think that because it's in Miami, because it's the last game of the season, I think that we're likely to lose that game. And last but not least, we have the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills are the most straightforward team in the league this year, I think, schedule-wise. I think that they're going to split with the Patriots, obviously, as I mentioned previously. I think that they're going to lose to the two previous Super Bowl champions, because I think that the Bucs and the Chiefs are just more talented than they are. And I don't see them losing any other games. I think that they probably will lose another one in some upset, but I just don't see it happening. The Steelers are coming off of losing the last 5 of 6 games after going 12-0, which makes no sense. The Dolphins, I just don't think are strong enough to beat them. And then you have Washington, the Texans, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Panthers, whose teams are just confused. Those teams need help, especially the Texans. The Jaguars got a new quarterback. The Jets got a new quarterback. The Colts don't know who their quarterback is. The Panthers are confused on who their quarterback is going to be. The Washington football team currently has Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taylor Heineke fighting for the spot. Like, those teams are just all a mess, and the Bills are just too good to be beaten by any of them. And then you have the Saints and the Titans, and I think that the Saints are a wild card. I think that the Saints could potentially win it, but I'm not going to predict that. It would be too risky of a prediction. And then the Titans, the Titans are a strong team. I have them beating the rest of the division, but I think that the Bills offense and the Bills defense counteract the Titans offense and defense. The Titans didn't really make too many moves to improve their defense in the last year, and their offense, they've lost Jonnu Smith. They've lost, they added Julio Jones. So I think Julio Jones' addition is just going to make their offense stronger. But I still think that the Bills should be able to win that game. I think that that's the most likely game for them to lose, though, out of the other ones. I can see the Bills going anywhere from 12-5 to 15-1, but I think that 14-3 is probably 16-1. But I think 14-3 is probably the most likely. So thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you again for all the support on the channel. I couldn't have asked for a more supportive audience. I'm glad to be back making videos. I'm sorry for the absence. I can't apologize enough. I just didn't have time. I was working 75-hour weeks because I work in the kitchen. I was working 12 hours a day. And when I got home on the weekends, I just didn't feel like making videos. I hope you guys can understand that. And yeah, I'm back. I want to make 3 to 4 videos a week for you guys. I really enjoy doing this, and I'm glad the NFL season is almost here. So, thank you guys again for all the support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.